Hey guys, Blocktrain here, and welcome to the bi-weekly recap of crypto markets and news. So let's jump right into it and talk about the markets for a second. And I want to talk about market cap because I think in this past week we've seen such a significant drop compared to, let's say, the past month. So let's look at it. So we started at 468 about billion US dollars at the start of March. And by March 18th, we were at 298. So that's a pretty significant drop, all the way to 286 actually. So that's a little bit more than 100. And then we recuperated. We came back up from there, and we made it all the way up to about $350 billion. But I think what happened today, or in the past day or so, is really indicative of a continuation of the bear market that we've been having, because I think this consolidation right here was incredibly important for kind of support levels for Bitcoin in general. And alts and Ethereum, they all follow Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin dominance is at one of its highest in the past 4 months, ever since the alt boom of December. And so I really think that we're heading towards lower prices until we settle around, I think, around $7,000 for one Bitcoin. Now that might seem a little pessimistic, and it might be, but as you know, we've had the death cross in the past day, and just the signs in general aren't looking good for Bitcoin right now. And I want to talk about Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance has been going up steadily for the past couple months. But at the same time, if you look at it from all time or even from a year, there's such a huge difference between, let's see right here, where last April, where Bitcoin was at 66%. And even in this prolonged bear market, where Bitcoin is steadily gaining its dominance, we're still seeing a general, if you look at it from a long-term perspective, a general decrease in Bitcoin dominance. And I think this is overall a good thing. And I think this bear market is promising in that it shows us that, hey, Bitcoin is not the only coin out there anymore. It's not the only coin that matters to people anymore. Ethereum is slowly grabbing a part of that market share. All coins are really going to start booming again, and the cryptocurrency sphere in general is a lot more promising than it looked last year, even though we might not have the same amount of gains that we did in 2017 yet. Who knows what's going to happen? And so, going into just general market percentages, today's just been a shit day, let's be honest. There's red across the board, couple greens, OX over here. Let's see, GX chain, and these are pretty much random. And here's the thing. Oh, Mithral's up 109%. I actually don't know what they do, but here's the thing generally about coins that are outliers in these, is that for the most part, have very specific news to them that has almost nothing to do with Bitcoin. And so I think almost all coins tend to follow the trend of Bitcoin. And for coins like these that actually went up during this downtrend, it has almost nothing to do with Bitcoin. And I think that's a great thing, because when we were looking at about a month ago, almost every coin was down, what, 30, 40, 50%. And even with good news, because they're all following Bitcoin. And I think the fact that there's some green among this red, and there have been some greens among the reds of the past week, I think that's a really good sign that alts are starting to break away. And in the same way that the markets are stabilizing, because some people can still have faith in alts without having faith in Bitcoin. And again, I think that's a really good sign. And so I think going forward, we're still going to see more drops, but I think we're pretty close to the bottom here. And there's generally an uptrend once we get into Q2, and I think we'll be seeing some more sideways movement after Bitcoin drops, I say around 500, 600 more. And please, guys, don't take this as the truth or anything. This is just what I think based on my opinion of Bitcoin right now. And I think it's an opinion that a lot of people agree with, though. And so if you're feeling bullish, I would say just watch out and maybe wait a little bit to see if the prices drop, to see if you have a better buying point. If you're really bearish, I would say don't be too bearish, because at the end, we're all bullish on crypto in the long term, and the fact that the markets are down this much means that almost anything right now is a pretty good buying opportunity for later, because nobody is here thinking we won't get past all-time high prices. So that said, let's get into some good news. So today, or yesterday actually, Coinbase announced that they would support Ethereum ERC20 tokens. Now, this is news that we've known. They announced this earlier in the year, maybe late last year, that they were looking into this, but this is really kind of the next level. This is what we're doing. This is what's coming next. And there was a lot of hype around this yesterday, and coins like BAT and basically just ERC20 tokens that had the possibility of getting onto Coinbase really had a little spike, a nice spike for such a bearish market. And I think a lot of people don't realize the specifics of it, but there's actually a pretty good way for you to understand what coins will make it through, or what tokens will make it through, and what tokens won't make it through because of Coinbase's laid out policy. And here's their policy. Basically, they have a list of coins which are in Coinbase custody, and these are coins that they're considering putting on. And the approach that Coinbase is taking, and which I think is really smart, is that they're waiting to see what regulations come up and how cryptocurrencies will be classified. Because here's the thing, if Coinbase lists an ERC20 token and it becomes defined as a security, then Coinbase has to deal with all these legal problems. And I think that's actually a really bad thing for the crypto space in general, because Coinbase is still so big in terms of the fiat crypto gateway. And I think taking the smart approach, even if it takes a little bit longer, is great for Coinbase and for the crypto space in general. At the same time, I also like it because they gave us classifications for what coins they were going to pick. So for example, a security is something similar to a stock. So we have to think about coins that are similar to stocks in that they represent an ownership of something. And those coins are more likely to be classified as securities and thus less likely to be listed on Coinbase. And so I think if you really went through a list of ERC20 tokens, you'd be able to see which coins have a better chance of getting listed on Coinbase or not, and become bullish and maybe buy into those coins. And I actually want to make a video about that because I think we can actually isolate certain coins that will be on Coinbase. Not for sure, of course, but because of the way Coinbase has laid this out, there's definitely a way to think about it and a way to make an educated guess, rather than just picking at random like people speculating about Ripple or something like that. So let's keep going and let's talk about these are the Chicago markets right here, and basically this is just a really bullish signal from the institutional markets in America. This guy, his name is Chris Concannon, and basically he said, look, we're not ready for a Bitcoin ETF yet. And an ETF, if you don't know, is basically just a collection of different commodities, or in the stock market, it's basically just a collection of different stocks all put together and bundled so that the volatility is less. And if there's a general uptrend, you're really matching the market instead of trying to beat the market with one specific stock. So they're trying to make one for Bitcoin where you have a collection of coins and then you just you wrap them all together and it'll show the general outline of where the crypto markets are going. And so basically what this guy said is, hey, we don't have enough trading volume for ETFs now, but we definitely will. And this is a really bullish signal because, Bitcoin futures only started in last December. So for this guy to be coming out and saying, hey, it's been 3 months and already I think we'll have volume levels able to justify these ETFs in the future, is a really bullish signal for how institutional money is thinking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general and how they want to put money into it. Because let's be honest now, the crypto market is incredibly volatile, and for people who are dealing with millions and millions of dollars and even billions of dollars like these banks are and these hedge funds are, they don't want one really volatile cryptocurrency. They want an ETF that will stabilize and kind of remove volatility from the market. And so I think this is perfectly reasonable, and I think it's a good long-term view to have, and it's why I'm pretty bullish on the market at the moment. And I really don't, it really doesn't matter to me where I buy right now, because I feel we will definitely pass these prices. And in terms of how much lower we can go, I feel like we're almost there at the bottom. So let's get into, I would say this is good news, but a lot of people really hated it, and that's that Twitter will start banning cryptocurrency ads tomorrow. Now, as you know, Facebook and Google have already banned cryptocurrency ads, and I'm actually of the opinion that this is a really great thing for the crypto markets, because I think the December boost that in cryptocurrencies that everybody kind of got into was one of the biggest reasons for this insanely big crash. And I think that by taking away Facebook ads, Google ads, Twitter ads, we're really gonna kind of wash away the shit coins here, because any coin that's worth its salt will be able to get past not running ads. You know, they'll have avenues where they can advertise their coin, but coins that need Facebook ads, Google ads, Twitter ads, these are the really low-hanging fruit who go for people who don't really know anything, and they just promise insane returns. And I really don't think we need those types of coins in the market anymore. And that from now on, crypto should be seen as more legitimized as institutional money comes in, governments start legitimizing it, putting in regulation. And I think this is a really good step, even though it might cause short-term panic in the market. And so getting on to my last bit of news, South Korea's largest multi-billion-dollar conglomerates enter the cryptocurrency market. And I was reading through this, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. And just to let you guys know, I'm Korean, so I understand some of these companies and how big they are in Korea. And as you know, South Korea is one of the biggest markets for cryptocurrencies out there. And basically, if you look down here, it just gives an idea of what companies really are looking to get into cryptocurrency. So if you see here, SK Telecom, this is one of the biggest telecom companies in all of South Korea. And South Korea is one of the biggest media consumers, one of the biggest electronics consumers and makers in the world. So this is an incredibly huge company worth billions of dollars. Nexon is also one of the most famous gaming companies in all of Korea, and they have an incredibly profitable business model. Same way, Kakao. You might not have heard of them, but there's this app called Kakao Chat, which is insanely popular inside of South Korea. It's kind of like the WhatsApp of South Korea. And these people are investing in this exchange. Nexon and SK Telecom are investing in this exchange. OKCoin, which had the biggest Chinese cryptocurrency exchange before China shut them down, is now moving to Korea and making their own exchange there. You guys have all heard about BitHump, which is currently the largest cryptocurrency exchange in Korea. So basically, we're kind of seeing a race between these big companies to get a piece of the pie in the cryptocurrency market. And again, I really think this shows what's to come in crypto. Sure, it sucks now. Sure, we have some people are looking at 70% losses from December times. But you should feel lucky in the sense that you got in kind of early still. This is still really speculative, and there are big players who have not entered yet because of its volatility. But once they do enter, the amount of new money that's going to come in, there's nowhere for the price to go but to increase. And yeah, that's why I'm incredibly bullish on the crypto market. And even amongst all this FUD and basically shitty days with a lot of red, I think we have a lot to look forward to. And I'm really looking forward to the news that comes out in the next week, because to be honest, I've only been seeing positive news, and it's only been negative things in the market. And I want to remind you guys that the market in the short term is always irrational. Well, not always, but it's irrational. And to base your decisions and your feelings off of what the market is doing at this moment is stupid. And you should be looking towards the future. Thank you guys for watching. And if you guys liked the video, please leave me a comment and let me know what you thought.